Hello everyone and welcome back to the Decoders channel. So tonight the show is your monthly DeFi review with Hash from Divine Dog. Bro, how are you doing?
Great, man. I mean, couldn't ask for better last couple days.
Yeah.
June was kind of heating up, but this is something else, to say the least.
You had like a tough couple of days, right?
Yeah.
In DeFi.
Yeah, I'm thinking outside of myself. I'm thinking macro. Yeah. Macro for Solana, and especially DeFi, this has been really beautiful.
Active, that's cool. Okay. So yeah, and we're doing that today because basically last week we both went we flied out and we completely forgot about the monthly show.
Yeah, that was a mistake. We haven't so much, it's been the holidays for the US, and you were on a holiday. So I mean, you were already on a holiday, so kind of worked out that it slipped us a little bit.
We didn't forget about the show. It was the 1st of July week, so we took a break. We delayed. That's PR. Yeah, good job. Good job. I should have said that.
And this is actually a better week to have it, considering what's been happening the past 7 days. So now we did it. So it was all planned.
Exactly. It was all strategically planned out, and that's why we're here. GM Caliph, GM Salvation New Alert, what's up? How are you doing? And both with sunglasses. Yeah, it's called branding, man. I'm gonna wear like a black t-shirt, but I'm out of black t-shirts right now, so it is. Oh, no, I have one, but yeah, whatever. So, bro, what happened in June?
Yeah, so June itself was kind of where we saw a little bit of heating up what we've been seeing the past couple weeks at the 1st of July for DeFi, right? We saw a little bit of that price action, a little bit of tease what we saw yesterday, last month, and about recovering to that May stage, right? May, we saw that big drop down to like $13, where it kind of slowly recovered in June. So that was kind of good to see. But then what happened this past 2 weeks was kind of an exponential process of that. So what in June was we saw that rise of TVL within Marinade, Jito, so a lot of these liquid staking tokens, which we're about to get into why during that. But first thing I really wanted to talk about was, as of yesterday, we are now at the highest level TVL, total value locked, than we have since FTX, since the post FTX era, which was, we've said that now. I think we said it last show as well. So the fact that that's kind of proven that this is kind of heating up a little bit, like
that's cool.
Wanted it to happen, even though May, like I just said, we saw that massive drop.
So is the bull market back?
You said what?
Are we in a bull market?
I'm not at liberty. I'm not that. No, I'm not that guy.
Okay.
Not that guy. I'm DeFi guy, not that guy.
Okay, so is the DeFi bull market back?
This might be the first ever DeFi bull market, and that's what
it's DeFi season
that we could see. I'm not saying that it is that. I'm not even saying we always, I feel like in this bear market we've always had these little mini bull runs, right? Obviously this is the closest thing we've seen since 2021, where you see those 30% numbers moved when it's not been off of, like when we saw $8, right? $8, like the last time we've seen those 40% charts and those God candles, right? Which that at that point didn't really mean much to us now, but now that we're seeing that at these higher levels, it's really interesting to see. But DeFi specifically, what I'm really going to be interested to see is that a lot of people are getting in on this because of these DeFi protocols that have just come out that are incentivizing this point system, and we can get in on that from there. But a lot of people are really interested in these products like MarginFi and Cypher, where you can deposit your liquidity there and at a chance at a potential very profitable airdrop, like we saw in a lot of different protocols that had their DeFi prime, where they first had this initiated by these airdrops protocols. We saw, I mean, obviously Ethereum was one of the first that had that. Binance was big on that. It's always kind of a very traditional part to gain that degen money has been these airdrops, and Solana hasn't been able to see that. And now with this, Solana has gotten a taste of it, and it's kind of been spreading a little bit around there. It's pretty cool, very, very, very cool to see. Actually, it's very similar to some of these other chains that have had their DeFi rise.
But do you think it's because like okay, so I'm saying that because Khalil like said like yeah, Solana is dead, quote unquote, but like, is that because the numbers are low that it's easier to get like a 20% increase compared to, for example, if TVL that way higher, so then like you don't see that anymore, at least in the bear market? Or is it like really the number are good and relatively speaking, it's good? There is something here.
Yeah, are you saying that it's? I mean, this jump yes. is a lot easier to have on Solana because the TVL is already low.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's easier to get to 100% growth when you are 2, that 100 growth when you are 2 million, right? So yeah,
I think that's an absolutely great point. And I think the better metric that we should be looking at is what's kind of drove Solana this entire time is Twitter. Right, we're seeing a lot more significance of DeFi on Twitter. I mean, I used to have to like literally search in the search bar Solana DeFi for me to even kind of interact with things that I wanted to around Solana DeFi. Now I can't go 10 posts without seeing somebody learning or talking about Solana DeFi or one of these protocols. So it's not just NFT-Fi, right? A lot of what we've been talking about in the past is all these NFT-Fi protocols that have all this TVL and things are going on in the NFT, but no, this is real traditional markets, right? This is the margin trading on MarginFi and these different things that really aren't those degen yields that people are talking about. Obviously, it's for a promise of a bigger deal, but it's really cool. Like I said earlier, it's really cool to see that that's very similar to some of these earlier chains with that. So I think we apply the metric of looking at social media, especially Twitter, where that's a prominent place for Solana, to measure hype around and seeing that. I think it's promise of more things to come with that, as I think people right now that are looking into it are still early.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. And is there like any big DeFi project that put like DeFi on the map on crypto Twitter, or just like the sentiment shifted with like, I don't know, like just like, yeah, people went from one topic to another, and the topic of the month is DeFi?
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like the latter, to be honest with you, because Cypher, even though it is semi-new and MarginFi, I mean, with their new deal coming out with their points is semi-new. These protocols have been around, right? They've been around. It's not like this past week they've been launched, right? We've had an article on MarginFi for over a month now. Cypher, we talked about it with Marinate when Vita came on the show. We talked about them as well. So it feels more like the topic of the month, but what makes me kind of more bullish long-term with that is obviously we talked about social media, but also the fact that we're seeing this price rise and price gain in Solana that really supports the DeFi ecosystem, right? People see a 12%, 15% APY on Solana when it's $8. That doesn't really mean much to them, right? But now since that's gained, it's that $30 compared to the $8 at 15% APY. That's a lot more USD value that people are getting. So that's what I'm kind of seeing from people that I talk to, and really, I mean, a lot of what we have that we've had in the past when it comes to meta has been these things that just kind of feel like the topic of the month. But as people kind of want to garner more of that attention, more things either become developed or people start focusing their eyes at one place. And really what people don't realize is that when you put enough money someplace in DeFi, it's going to accelerate a lot of things. Like, for example, MarginFi and their points, they're absolutely blowing out the wall. I think I was talking with Khalib about this, about how they're getting like $2 million in TVL like every single day. I think for the past, like, there was a 3-day stretch of that, which was absolutely insane. And so when they're incentivized, when in an ecosystem like Solana DeFi that hasn't been incentivized to innovate and create, the fact that it's getting that attention now, I made a tweet about this the other day. I'm really excited to see who's been on the sidelines in DeFi that's really waited until the perfect market conditions to push out their products. And so with something like Super Stake that we talked about with Marinade, I mean, that's absolutely exploded as well. And we'll get more into that when we get there.
That's fascinating. Edimo, thank you so much again for your support. Man, I think I need to find like some something to do with like the donators that done a couple of times plus super fun and stuff. Thank you so much, Edima. You're a legend. I love you.
Yeah, you need to have one of those things where it's like top supporters for the month and like an overlay in the right hand corner or something like that.
You need to flex that on Twitter for sure.
Absolutely.
But that's amazing. Thank you so much, Edima, for your donation of $1 USD. Let's go. And yeah, okay. So like FTX, yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah, they go for it.
Sorry, I said I think with these new protocols that we're talking about, right? A lot of them have to do, and a lot of them, thankfully, are integrating Liquid Solana. And we're seeing kind of competition rise within Liquid Solana as well. With now B Soul's coming up, Jito Soul has seen a massive rise with their MEV rewards, and then MSOL, obviously Marinade is kind of the titan in liquid staking here on Solana. But with that, that's why we've seen actually in the last 10 days, we've seen now a total of over 320,000 stakers of Solana, which is pretty amazing. I honestly didn't even think it was that high, even though there's a lot of stakes Solana. I thought a majority of it was bigger wallets, but that kind of shows that the community is a lot bigger than we think, because it rose by almost 1,500. So it's 1,500 active wallets that are like, okay, staking is real, whether it is for these margin 5 points, whether it is to super stake and get that 15% APY, whatever it's for. People are seeing the benefits and the potential of staking your Solana and putting it into not as degen friendly, but sustainable, and prioritizing sustainability over what we typically see Solana kind of prioritizing things of, whether it is that 100x.
And did we completely erase like the loss from FTX?
No, we got quite a ways to go from there. And actually, if I want to pull up DeFi Llama real quick, we can actually get a specific number there. But yeah, I mean, we virtually fell off. I mean, a lot of things fell off a cliff when.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to think about the two major black swans. Yeah, was Terra Luna's deal, and then obviously FTX. FTX was more for us, but if we want to kind of grab this right here, and I can even share my screen if we want to do that.
Yes, sir.
Let me close some windows, because.
Well, if you can, yeah, just make sure you share only the tab.
For a little laptop of mine.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think you're lagging a bit. I'm losing you.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Yep. I am, because I'm closing out some things. Computer's freaking out. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah,
now things aren't responding. Oh no, I need a better computer.
Yeah, I can see like on the streaming software, like I can see there's an icon which is like on fire. So I don't know if that shit can read like the temperature of your computer. I get lost indicator. Oh yeah, no, okay, it's different. It's because I'm losing some video packets. Because you're freezing. Oh. That's okay.
Imagine
I think it's fine.
My computer is going so crazy that it's affecting your computer.
No, right. It's the video streaming capacity. But it's all good, man. Okay, so you good? Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah. While this loads, basically, yeah, we fell off a cliff after those two kind of events happened. And then even a bigger cliff when the FTX deal happened, and it lost a lot of people's faith in that DeFi would ever even be possible.
Yeah.
Especially DeFi, let alone, obviously people were talking about Solana even being able. But if we want to talk about, yeah, so let me pull this up. It finally loaded. Share screen. Here we are. All right.
Let me put your screen on stream. Screen share. Boom. Boom. What okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. We're live. Let's see the screen.
Okay. Yeah, so if we remember, it was mid-November of last. So yeah, we see this right here, right? This is when FTX happened, and we were already on that downstream, right? This was the peak of the bull, where you see the most TVL. I mean, this is when you had things like Invictus, Radium had a whole bunch. There's very few protocols that just kind of dominated everything here, and honestly, even a few that were kind of up here that kind of have become not even relevant at all, like Tulip, but. We see that, and then I want to say Terra Luna was here. I want to confirm a date.
Like, compared to everything else, FTX was not that bad because,
well,
when you look at the big picture, right?
Looking at so we had almost. It's not bad when you look at how big of a chart it was.
It was just like the last knife, right? But like we were already dead since a long time.
Well, honestly, that $1 billion mark was kind of where we were hanging on, right? We're hanging on almost to $1 billion, and honestly, it looks like we were having the first type of recovery before the FTX thing. I mean, it fell off a cliff. Like, this is obviously, this is like it took multiple. It almost took a year, right, for us to hit 1/10. Oh, it took a year for us to have 1/10 of the TVL we had, and then we went down another. So it went down 90% in a year, and then it went down another 90% in a couple days. So we went down pretty much 99% there.
Zoom out. You have to zoom out.
Yeah,
it looks better. But it's because also like the TVL is expressed in USD, right? And like it doesn't mean like the soul like per unit is all leaving like the chain. It's more like the price of Solana is going to the toilet, so then the TVL of the DeFi is going down, but the number per soul. Yeah, okay. So is that per soul, right?
So this is the actual chart here of the Solana, right? So I mean, we had relatively stable.
Yeah, it's cool.
TVL. It's funny that we see that this was when we kind of hit peak. It was after the peak of we see here.
But
right?
See, I think this chart is way more healthier than the price in USD, right? Because if people were losing faith in Sol, like you should see like a huge. Okay, it's kind of going down anywhere. Like we're going back to like what April 2021, but yeah, okay, we're going from 60 million Sol to 10 million Sol. Okay, that's quite.
Yeah, I mean, we see this spike right here because this is when Solana went to $13. So that's why we see that here, and then now obviously with the spike we've had, this. I mean, for it to be we hit $30 Solana, and that kind of still is gaining. I mean, we say all this to say that we still have a long way to go for pre-FTX, but we're in a very early stage of people gaining interest in DeFi. And when Solana hasn't even had interest in DeFi, or even when it was peak bull run, the only thing people were talking about within the NFT community was Invictus, and that is an own fork and something that's completely and the whole. It could be a whole show on that, but that's basically a mega Ponzi in DeFi that you kind of have to get out with.
But but people can go to DeFi because the price of Sol is getting sexy again. I think like they will use DeFi more when Solana will go back to 40, 50, $100, and then they will like optimize their profit with DeFi.
Yeah, and
that could be
that's something we would not see when Solana was. I think we're going to see more of that, and that we did not see at all as bull run, right? Even people, like I said, I saw tweets from notable people talking about how like $30 Solana with 15% APY is something huge. Imagine even $100 Solana with that 15% APY. People are going to be even more prime to do that because of they've matured and realized, okay, everything is not about the 100x's, right? And I think a lot of it is that, I mean, the bull run was 2 years ago now. We're getting old too. We're thinking a lot of us degens are realizing that there's more to life than just trying to 100x or nothing everything.
Yeah.
Right? So I think people are realizing that the people that stick around, definitely people that have stayed through all this cycle, is going to see the benefits of DeFi, and are already seeing the benefits of DeFi right now with different things that are coming out. But that all being said, we are not in a place where Solana has a whole bunch of these unique protocols. Like the things that we're seeing are most popular right now, pretty standard across any chain, with different derivatives and margin trading and everything along with that. See, it's much needed after happened with Mango markets and their absolute collapse. This is much needed, but it's pretty standard. There's other things that absolutely pop up. Like there's things that are DeFi projects on other chains that pop up out of nowhere, like NFT projects that are kind of like their own Ponzi, right?
No.
We're not even close to that stage. That's like mega bull run DeFi stage, right? But that's the different things that people have done, and that's kind of similar with Invictus, right? That kind of mega Ponzi deal that people are trying to stay into the last second, game of chicken in DeFi and yielding. So. But there's going to be more sustainable projects as well. That's unique. That has they're trying to address a problem that can only be addressed on Solana. That's something that's very big. Is that a lot of these developers can't do the things, maybe their vision that needs so many transactions and has to go through so many loops, and they can be batched like it can on Solana. So when this is more spread, and if it gets more spread, and it's not a topic of the month, which I hope it isn't, and I think it isn't, but I can't say, then the developers will have a reason to address and create those problems, or address and create solutions to those problems on Solana.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like
super states. So
I can see like a use case where like I don't know like the technical side of it that much. Maybe I feel something shitty here, but like I could see like Solana as a parallel chain for like slower chain like ETH, like when you have a transaction that's been processed on ETH and you duplicate it on Sol, and then you have like an actor in the middle that like an oracle basically. Like you have an oracle between like kind of ish between ETH and Sol, and you do what's possible technically on ETH via a transaction validated on Sol, and you use the transaction time of Solana to like continue the process, but on ETH. Because if the transaction is validated on Sol, then you can continue to live your life on the ETH side of it.
Yeah, that's what you're speaking of is what some people have said earlier, that once Solana dies, that Solana's going to be a layer 2 to Ethereum. Because when people are saying, well, why doesn't Solana just be a layer 2 to Ethereum? That's a lot of their that's a lot of their kind of narrative. Like, well, since Solana's so good, why don't y'all just be a layer 2 to Ethereum, and then we can do basically exactly what you just said.
But we can do 1.5. We can do both. We can do like Solana transaction, and on top of it, what ETH wants to do with ETH, but we validate everything on Sol, which we kind of like that.
Yeah, I mean that's out of my expertise.
Yeah, me too, kind of.
As to technical.
Yeah.
As that to understand that.
Carlos mentioned, I think it's a bit off topic with the show, right? Because it's about like GameFi, but like, yeah, Google's upcoming launch of Web3 games offer exciting prospect for NFT projects, providing extensive exposure. Notably, Google's gambling policies strictly forbid wager-based games. But put some light on it. Yeah, but like, yeah. Yeah, it's not really DeFi related, like it's more GameFi. Or do you consider GameFi as DeFi vehicle?
I mean, I think the same way how NFTFi has some DeFi elements. I think GameFi has a lot of DeFi elements to it. It's just obviously, I think it's extreme gamified version of DeFi with their own unique assets that you can do there, and if there's layers of complexity to it. But I'm interested to see if like what chain that will even be. Is it Google's own kind of? Because I know there's some big companies that are making their own chain that's not really a chain, but they want to have the appeal of that. So I'll be interested to see how that develops.
Yeah, bro. Like when I read an article about like companies like building a new chain, their own chain, blah blah blah. It's kind of the same parallel that I do with like like a JavaScript framework or like a coding framework, when like you have one guy who thinks he's smarter than anyone else and is going to build like the next framework, web framework for doing X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. But we were doing that since the last 10 years with another framework that works well and supported by Google or something like that. But yeah, it's like, Bitcoin is not good enough. ETH is not good enough. I need to build my own chain. Really, bro?
Yeah, I mean, it's more about how my personal opinion on that is just they don't want the actual ethos of a blockchain. They just want it to sound appealing because they still the reason why they have their own chain is so they can have the exact opposite of what blockchain is meant for. They want to have the information. They want to see where everything's going. They want to be able to control the things that happen on their chain. So
but that's the point of decentralization. Like, don't put that back into the end of fucking Google or shit like that.
Yeah,
like there is something that's missing. You can participate in the development of a chain, but like, do you need the big Web2 company chain? I don't know. It's tricky. But yeah, then it's market, right? Because if you tell me like Amazon is going to launch their chain, kind of bullish, right? There, give me the pre-sale, please.
Yeah, I mean, how I think about it too, the bull case for that is that people will be on the chain and see like be on one of these pseudo chains and be like, wait, this is not what I was promised and heard about crypto. Let me actually do some research on some other ones, and they'll see kind of what they have. So maybe there's a small percentage that kind of opens their eyes to that, and that's their introduction to blockchain is with that. So that's kind of the bull case that I see in that.
Yeah. You enter the crypto market with a TikTok, and then you go DeFi full time. That's the scenario.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
Another comment from Khalif. I have some pools on ETH layer 2 chains, but what I hate the most are the bridges I need to do consistently. Transferring my funds between Polygon to Arbitrum or Arbitrum to Optimism. I hate that. Yeah. It's honestly like the bridge. I had the bridges too. Like what I do is like when I want to bridge Sol to ETH or ETH to Sol, I go to Binance. I sell some. I sell on Binance. I buy ETH, and then I transfer to my ETH address. Like the bridges.
Yeah, I kind of do those like it's very popular within the group chats that I'm in. Those like simple swaps, like the third party sites that you're not 100% sure if you're gonna ever see your money again, but you send it to one wallet and they send it to you. Like that's how I do a lot of my on ramp and off ramp, because I just simply don't want to deal with centralized exchanges for one, and then another thing is those different bridges and stuff, right? So if I ever take money out on obviously the only assets I have on Ethereum and Polygon are DGods and Utes, but but if I wanted to take profits on those, I'd honestly use that third party. I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, so what are the risks to go to like centralized exchange? Like basically you lose your QYC, so you lose your anonymity, but that's it. Or just
I think for people in the US, it's tough because a lot of centralized exchanges kind of limit the way that you can move your funds around, and if you do move your funds around, you'll have a lot of kind of government poking and prodding, and so I just kind of stay away from a lot of that.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I was just moving a couple of thousand, not tens of billions of dollars, like you, bro. So we're not playing in the same game.
Here if you move even $1,000, you're gonna get you're gonna get a notice and get flagged by the IRS.
Limit leverage as well. For them, yes. If you have fun of sex, that's money. Is not just I'm not saying like I keep anything on Binance. I'm saying I'm using Binance as a bridge. So the only things that I lose is like they have my addresses, so they can track the phone. Like like if I do some shit with like the IRS of Malta, I can have some issues, but I don't. So other than that, it's fine. And it's going crypto to crypto. So
yeah. I mean, the main reason why I don't use centralized exchange, I used to use Coinbase Pro. I used to like it a lot. I did my KYC once on it, and they wanted to re-verify my KYC, and I hadn't used it in a while. And now my account is closed. Like, that's how it's gonna be. Like, this is literally what I've always thought about be the downside. Centralized exchanges, and you guys just did it, so I'm not gonna use it ever.
Bro, like I got like in 2017. I got banned from Coinbase. I have no idea why. Like I have zero idea why, because I didn't like move a lot of money and stuff. I was signing up from another email. I uploaded my ID. Boom, ban. End of it. So I can't use Coinbase. I have no idea why.
See, what I regret in my early crypto days is, I'm gonna be honest, I submitted my KYC to a lot of exchanges that probably shouldn't have. Like, I mean, I'm a fan of kind of what KuCoin does, but I probably never should have KYC'd. I KYC'd on Voyager, Kraken, KuCoin. Honestly, I couldn't even name all of that.
So
probably some sketchy third-party Chinese rand probably site that has my information.
So your ID is probably in a couple of like database on blackmarket.com.
Probably. At least my driver's license is. My address is no longer valid, but I'd say maybe possibly my driver's license, which is actually going to be expiring this year anyway. So hopefully I may be in the clear. But that's not good practices. It's before I learned a lot of the stuff that I do now. Was the 2020 days, middle pandemic stuff, bored. Just wanted to trade, man.
So when are you moving to Dubai?
When Divine Dogs is top 30 project, maybe.
But okay, so like even at the American, like if you go to a country with like better like tax bracket and shit like that, you still have to own money to the US government anyway. So you have to burn your passport, right? You have to get nationality somewhere else.
I'd have to be a dual citizen pretty much at some place, and I have to I think I have to live there for a certain amount of years before I don't have to pay taxes there. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I've been doing my taxes for only 4 years now. So it's like I still have a lot to learn about, and only crypto taxes for 3, and I'm gonna say 3 in case this is recorded and put out forever.
It is recorded and it's on YouTube.
So 3 years been doing it, and so I still have a lot to learn there as well. But I did all my taxes at the most accurate way I could acknowledgely. So,
it's like I think it was on Joe Rogan podcast or whatever that one guy said like there is a senator that every year the guys was sending like a letter to the IRS saying like I've completed my taxes the best way I know. If there is a mistake, please let me know because I don't understand any of it.
That's actually really smart. It's what I should be doing as well.
Yeah, but bro, like the guy's a freaking senator. So, like, how do you expect like Madam yeah, everyone like normal like from the people to understand what the fuck how to fill up your taxes, right? Like you know what they say, like they know everything about you, and but they want you to declare everything, and if you cheat, they will know, and then they can catch you cheating. They say, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, they won't tell you what you owe, but they say they know what you owe. And
Exactly.
if you don't know what they know that you owe, then you're in trouble. All right, man. But yeah, no, I mean, for those like government officials, I mean, they know all the loopholes and the ways around the things.
Exactly.
Honestly, it should be a lesson learned rather than me being angry about it.
And Khalif, you're right. Like the government wants to know what GPay I have. Yes, exactly. And you can ask like a capital loss on a JPEG that you got dragged on.
Yeah, I mean, try doing your. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but I tried my hardest to do my transactional taxes, and I can tell you that it was very tough.
Yeah.
That I put my full effort into it, but that's for the people that kind of goes into literally spend days and weeks on every transactional that you had on Solana, that think that one day they're going to develop an AI that just tracks your wallet and puts your government ID to it. It's like you got to live a little. I can't spend that. I can't just waste my life on that. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah. Like what kind of amount are we talking about anyway, right? Like I don't know. Like okay, so maybe for billions, like when blockchain will be at like a couple of trillions more, yeah, maybe it's gonna be worth it. But like, bro, like to explore every transaction since Solana, like a Solana, a kind of small coin anyway, right? On the top market cap in a big like view of like traditional finance anyway, right? And they're going after us, like the monkeys holders of like some JPEGs on internet. Oh, fuck off, man! Go catch the big banks that do like what we have done in in a year in 5 minutes, right? Like fuck off.
I appreciate that, Rob, for that tip. But if I ever, I mean, honestly, when I tell you that I kind of like both good and bad, like I didn't even put down my tax harvest losses for the past year because I'm like I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to say you don't want to tell,
you can still carry it over.
Yeah, and you don't want to tell the government that you have crypto anyway. So
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
A loss is a loss. Thank you. Yeah, so what Mr. Rob said is like Ash put it down as a collectible art, the way it falls into collectible category. But yeah, that could be a way to simplify everything. Yeah. But bro, some JPEGs are not going into the art category or collectible category. It's so ugly, bro. Take a look at DeFi Llama in chain. Solana is second in the top 11 with the highest increase in TVL over the 30-day period. That's cool.
Let me pull that up for everybody. Yeah, we kind of got a little bit off topic, but yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
let me share my screen. It's actually really cool to see. There's only a couple chains. There's only one chain ahead of us in market cap that have that, or in TVL, excuse me.
Yes.
Can we all see this?
Yes, sir. It's live.
So we look at the month change. We're talking about the last 30 days, including June. You see us, and really only Pulse chain that has more of a TVL difference there. And I mean, I don't know a lot about Pulse chain whatsoever, but the fact they had 19 protocols only, I'd assume that a lot of them are centralized in only a couple places. And the fact that we're kind of finally getting more spread out and we're seeing more of that come through, is extremely big. Let's see if we can close over here. So yeah, we even look at the 24-hour volume. Obviously, Ethereum's always going to kind of win out there, but Solana is fourth, right behind Polygon, Binance, and Ethereum. And with the people saying a dead DeFi chain, the fact that we're over Avalanche is absolutely huge. People always talk about theirs, and we have almost double. So that's actually real. I think appreciate you pointing that out, Khalid, because yeah, that's big.
Wait, there is like almost like so 400K Polygon active user. What's the active user? Can you go to the question mark on active users? What does it mean, active users? Active address in the last 24 hours. Okay.
Yeah, 2.4 million. That's
what? What?
That's questionable.
Yeah, is that like wash trading the active addresses?
Yeah, they didn't say unique users. It's just active
addresses. Yeah, whatever. I guess you can wash trade the addresses.
So.
But yeah, man, okay, so bro, we're already like 45 minutes in. We talk about taxes for 20 minutes. Let's go. We need to do like a DeFi dogs part 2. But should we talk about Roblox, man?
Yeah, let's talk about Roblox.
Roblox.
So that's kind of one of the biggest things that affected us personally. We were in the second official partner with them. And they were an NFT leverage trading platform. We're going into NFTFi now. But they were gaining upon the market share, but they were only behind Citrus for the market share of the buy now, pay later NFT leverage trading type protocol. And they were exploited last Sunday. And so it affected us a lot personally, and we're kind of in very close connection with them and talking about them, and they've been very professional. It's pretty unique the way they've handled it compared to what I've seen from other things and other protocols that get exploited. A majority of these protocols that get exploited, it's going to be like, okay, guys, we're sorry we tried. We're going insolvent. Right? But they've really put it out there that they want to make things right. They want to keep going from this as well. So I mean, but kind of going into what happened was basically they had a liquidity pool that people they're in beta still. They weren't even in public. So put that all in perspective. They were in beta, and they were the second highest market share with the volume that they had, Solana volume for the NFT leverage trading. So they had this liquidity pool where users could deposit and select partners could deposit, and they could earn a yield, and a pretty significant yield based upon their volume and the fees that they generated with their leverage trading. And what happened is that this exploiter used Ooze NFTs, which was one of the few collections on their platform that was not very liquid. And so what they did is that they bought these NFTs on Leverage Ooze, but then they also when they excuse me, let me go into the part. So first step is that they bought these NFTs on Leverage on Roblox. The Ooze NFTs. Then secondly, they bought them just plainly on Tensor and Magic Eden to boost the price. So the oracle for how much they can lend got boosted, and it was obviously incorrect, right? So they did that repeatedly. What they did from there to be able to get more funds for it is that they then use an exploit on chain where they, and excuse me, this is gonna probably not sound right because I'm kind of not as technical as I should be, but they basically used the NFT that they already took out and then paid for. They bought on Leverage, and they used that to provide collateral to buy another Ooze NFT, and they did like basically a death cycle with that on top of it. And the reason why they bought the NFTs to boost the Oracle beforehand is that they could do it at a short amount of time frame until they noticed it. So if I'm not mistaken, they were able to save 1,000 Solana from what I can tell top of my head.
Yes. Okay, so the exploit is the ooze one when the ooze, which has like the floor price was like zero, like less than a sol, when it went to 12 sol, right? That's
Yeah.
shit. That's yeah, true. I saw that on the timeline. I didn't like double like dig deeper than that, but fuck, okay. And that's exactly like, yeah, the whole problem occurs because they listed a collection with low liquidity on the platform.
Yep.
So they listed ooze, which has like low liquidity, and then if you have a whale that like, or if you put together whales like that can control the floor price, then your oracle is getting fucked up because they control the market, and then you can exploit whatever they have on leverage, that connection on leverage, and profit from here and doing on repeat. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, and so it was multi-step, and it was. I mean, if you
Bro,
think
it
about it, it
happened on
wasn't
Bitcoin.
super complex, right?
Yeah, it can happen on Bitcoin or even like on ETH. I'm pretty sure that kind of exploitation like happened during the bear market with a couple of smart contracts. Like they basically re-implemented what I think you
I mean,
can.
a similar thing happened with
Yeah,
Terra Luna. If you think
yeah,
about it, when they're winning their dead spiral,
yeah.
right?
It's kind of classic. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and
But
even like during in 2007, yeah, 18 or 17, like I'm pretty sure there's a couple of like on Kraken, like the price of Bitcoin went like to nothing for 1 second because they got some traders pools together that basically crashed the price of Bitcoin on Kraken. I think there's a flash crash shit. Don't remember exactly, but
yeah, and you see that on
that's
centralized exchanges a lot
yeah,
too, because they have their own unique oracle just within their,
yeah,
their exchange, right? They don't have these oracles that can fetch
yeah.
uh, price
But
from all different places.
bro, that's why like doing product financial product on like on based on the floor price, where the floor price is basically people listing on and off of a collection, is tricky as fuck
Yeah.
because it's easy to be manipulated. Like yeah, but like
Yeah, and so
every NFT file is based on the floor price of NFTs.
yeah, and so that's kind of they address that in their post-mortem and their kind of future implementation. So what they're doing is we read off the post-mortem here is that number one, obviously only heavily traded collections are now listed on Roblox. The available loan amount per NFT for a specific collection will be restricted to a growth rate of 10% within 24 hours. That's what we saw. That I mean, obviously the NFT went 10,000% up, and then that's how they are able to extract so much funds at the same time. Now it's going to be
Okay.
limited to 10%.
Okay.
And then third, loan amount for a particular collection will be evaluated in relation to the liquidity present in the AMM bids within a 10% floor price range. That's actually the biggest one that I took from that, is that now they can actually see not only the floor price, right? Because you can measure the floor price, but it can be manipulated, but you can't which I'm not going to say you can't, but it's much harder to manipulate the AMM bids, because once someone sees that you're trying to manipulate the AMM bids, so say you have like a 10,000 Solana bid on a random collection, they're gonna someone's gonna see it and instantly
Yeah.
try to sell it for that. So that's kind of that makes sense, and it's within a 10% floor price range too. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, that's
also,
interesting.
but and then finally, the users will be restricted to buying a maximum of 15 entities from a single specific collection within a 24-hour time period. Furthermore, the overall limit of NFT purchases across all collections will not exceed 50 within a time frame.
Okay. Yeah, but then they are adding like some scaling issues in terms of like, yeah, tomorrow the launch public, can they keep those limitations? That's gonna be tricky.
I think um, the two that can kind of resolve some issues and have some volume issues for them, or be
Mm.
lack can take away from volume from them when we get to type of bull
Yeah.
market, is definitely two, the available loan amount per NFT restricted to a growth rate of 10%, right? So if a collection's kind of popping off and people want to buy it on average, they're going to be kind of penalized for it, and only a certain amount of people can do that until it's just doesn't make sense. And then fourth, the users will be restricted to maximum 15 entities from a specific collection. I think that's somewhat fair. I mean, also you got to think about kind of a different way that they can be kind of there's workarounds to number 4, right? You can have multiple wallets, so will be interesting to how that kind of plays out. But the biggest thing out of all of it is that's been the reason why I even would talk about them. And obviously, if they're insolvent, we would talk about this and then kind of go ahead and take it more. It's still a lesson about how there's protocol risk, and protocol risk happens all the time. Solana, it hasn't been very recently because of the fact that there hasn't, right, since the bull run, there hasn't been a lot of liquidity to exploit from in these newer protocols. And so the fact that that happened with them in an early stage, they could easily quit. But what they're doing is they promise to recover 60% of the funds for depositors. Depositors' funds by next week is a soft timeline. As a hard timeline the week after next, so July 27th. And they're doing that by selling their own NFTs that they own and their community owns, and they're opening up a donation pool. They're going to match one to one, and that anybody who contributes to that pool is going to be entered into a raffle and make them eligible for airdrop, whatever. So it's really interesting to see. I mean, a lot of these recovery step deals outside of the 60% is based upon if they can recover and get people to trust in their platform again. But I think the way that they're handling things for people that will give them a chance should be promising. Obviously, I'm extremely biased as we were early investors within their product, but it's really cool to see what they're doing there. And then the last point they made is that if there's any debt left to the holders, they're going to use the revenue from the platform to cover the remaining balance, which is still exactly what I said. But the fact they really want to make it right for the depositors is it means a lot.
Yeah, and historically, like, do you have an idea of a protocol coming back from hacks, or like when they get hacked, it's kind of fucked?
Well, how this kind of situation is so unique is a lot of protocols just go insolvent, right? They just don't even do they don't recover. They don't even try to recover because of either they were so early in stage or they're so late in the stage that it would be so hard for them to back. Obviously, Roblox is in that earlier portion of it, and a lot of that has to do with them just choosing, okay, even though this happened so early and we can easily walk away, we're not going to.
Yeah.
And I think that comes because they had so much momentum. Like, remember we had them on the show, obviously, and we talked about them on the last DeFi Dogs because of how much they were growing and the momentum that they had. And luckily, they have a big competition within Citrus, but the fact that that's their biggest competition and they're blowing everybody else out of the water in beta, biasly saying, it gives me hope for them to kind of not pick off where they left off right when they become live again, but definitely have a good chance to get there pretty quick.
That's cool. There's hope. There is hope then. Let them cook.
Yeah. Hope and just let them cook at this point. We're very close in contact with them and just kind of moving those things along.
That's cool. I mean, it's like it shows their their integrity first, but also it will be good to see their capacity of fixing that kind of big issues. That's why, bro, like on the for decoders and the views token, I'm quite kind of cautious about this fucking claiming page of ours that where people can claim views, because if I fucked up that shit, it can be annoying. Like, worst case scenario, someone drain views and stuff, and we create another token and we replace and whatever. So there's always solution. So that's manageable. But yeah, when you put some serious shit out there with like some monetary value, or at least future monetary value, it could be tricky. As fuck.
I'm sorry. I know we're at the end of the show. Let me be right back. My dogs are going absolutely crazy. I have no idea why.
Someone's in the house. Did anyone of yours got like exposed to Roblox? I guess like Khalif. Yes, because you were like part of the Divan Dogs team. And really on Twitter Space, like, did you have like any exposure to? And AC, what's up, AC? You're good. You're good, bro?
Yeah, everything's good. I think someone across the hall from me was going into their apartment or knocked for that. So whatever.
I had withdrawn my funds a few days before this problem happened. Okay, so Khalif knew. He knew. I asked if he got like some exposure to Roblox, but yeah, so that's through Divine Dogs. And yeah, okay, so if you're looking for the exploiter, look into Khalif wallet.
Yeah, definitely have to eye Khalif, because I was like, how did he know?
Yeah,
he predicted the future. He had that feeling.
Yeah,
he had that feeling. I guess he had that hacker feeling too.
Please, Khalif, drop your wallets. It's for a giveaway, like a Decoders giveaway. Please, drop your. Yeah, you want a giveaway? Give me your wallet.
Yeah, and go ahead and drop your alt too, man.
Yeah,
it's their entire Phantom.
But yeah, so that was like the big event in DeFi. Yeah, like last week. Not me. Yeah, that's what everyone said. Not me. It's not my fault, bro. Yeah, we will send a recording of this live to the Roblox team.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, like 44,000 of souls. Like, do you know what the guys did with those souls? Or like, did they like send it to? Did he cash out? Did he?
Yeah, he was. If we check at the post-mortem, he actually sent it to a Crypto.com wallet and a Coinbase wallet.
What?
Yeah. So I don't. If we look at a lot of the stuff that happened and we tracked it, he was obviously not very experienced about doing kind of whatever he did. Because if you think about it, it wasn't super complex, right? But whoever that they were, they left a massive paper trail, and they've actually hired a lawyer, and they have a they started a lawsuit within, they say, a jurisdiction. They don't make that public. Yeah, but they're basically, they said they're subpoenaing their information. But that's gonna take a long time.
It's gonna take time. But like, if you send it to Coinbase, it's done. Like, it's over.
Yeah, that's what it's detailed. Yep.
Because you have to KYC on Coinbase, right? Because I got banned, so you have to KYC. So what?
Yeah.
Okay, so if there is something I don't see right now, maybe he's smarter than I think, but he's dumb.
Yeah, I'm checking it right now to see. Yep, in the course of our detailed investigation, we succeeded in identifying the wallets on a centralized exchange, namely Coinbase and Crypto.com. I know Crypto.com also does, that are linked to the exploiter. We have initiated a lawsuit against the individual in one jurisdiction, as the legal proceedings progresses. Centralized exchanges will be mandated by the authorities to disclose this individual's information.
Okay. Because so if you were a hacker, what would you do with those like 10,000 soul? Like, you go to a bridge and then you do like a tornado swap app on Sol. What's the tornado app on Sol, by the way? Do we have a mixer?
I mean, for educational purposes, you really just have to wormhole it, and
exactly, right?
Yeah, if you wormhole it, I mean, there's not a lot
And it's
people
over.
can do to track it down. So yeah, he obviously they got too excited about it, and
What?
which is great. It's great for
Yeah,
us.
yeah, of course, it's good for Roblox, but like, yeah, like, and one more is, yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was one more. Like, it's not some like sub project that no one knows about it, right? Like the whole timeline knows about Wamo. You do a Google search and you do like, oh yeah, how to hide my transaction on Solana, and Wamo will probably pop up at some point. So you put in place an exploit, and you go to Coinbase.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that this person, like, if you look at the wallets, like he sent it, like he basically sent it to a whole bunch of different places, and I think that's what he thought that that was going to hide his tracks. He sent it to another wallet, and then he left some in one wallet, sent it to another, and then from like 4 wallets later, that's when he sent it to centralized exchange, which is very hard. That's a pretty large paper trail. Like, it's not anything insane. So.
See, Khalif, so what you should have done is use one more. Because now we have your name, Khalif.
Got you, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. So yeah, it's gonna take time. I don't know if you're gonna see the fund from the maybe if did the strategy like to do like a tweet thread about so we have your identity, please send us the fund and we will we will stop the lawsuit, blah blah blah. Can that shit work with like previous attempts? I think it could be, right?
Well, that's what they did initially. They sent Foxy dings to all of the wallet addresses, and they said, "Look, like we'll drop everything. We'll allow you to have 10% of the funds that you stole. Just send it. Just send 90% to this wallet, and everything will be dropped.
Okay.
And we'll take it as like a white hat hacker experience. So they never got back to him, so they initiated.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So you have the postmortem, and that is in the postmortem too. So yeah, hopefully the guys will read that shit. That's because that's what I would do if it was me. And I think Khalif should do that too. Like, bro, Khalif, send back the funds. Okay, I'm gonna stop because it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. All jokes aside, if Khalif's done so much for the DeFi ecosystem on Solana, it would be just contradicting of himself to even do something like that. So he's a legend. So
still 40K sold though. Yeah, but anyway, it's part of DeFi, the DeFi experience, right? So is that like the first protocol that you got like impacted by a hack?
Yeah, it is. It is. I usually I even said it kind of in my initial announcement, as I've always kind of have been prideful in managing my funds safely, and the fact that's like the first. Like this has been the first one to kind of have that feeling that I know a lot of people have felt has been a very humbling experience.
Yeah. I mean, like, we dodged like Terra Luna, FTX.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I mean, I saw a really sad tweet, I want to say last week, about a DeFi protocol called JungleFi. I actually had a call with this founder a long time ago, long time ago, about how he basically lost everything, lost all funding for his platform, all through the FTX collapse. And I mean, it's crazy. I'm thinking about even what happened with like the bank, the Valley Bank that had a lot of crypto.
Yes. Yeah, the Silicon Valley Bank.
Yeah.
It's sort of a bitch, man. Like, because it's a fucking bank. Like, it's not some DeFi on like Arbitrum with like $12 TVL. It's a fucking bank that, like, the Silicon Valley Bank was the fucking bank of every fucking startup in San Francisco and in the Bay Area. Like, every founder had exposure in the Silicon Valley Bank at some point, or like almost everyone. And that shit closed just because they did some shady shit for a couple of weeks. It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, and so that's kind of, I mean, that's the way to think about it. It's like, well, thank God I avoided all that. I mean, if I have to go through this, and the fact that I'm going through this with a team that's been more helpful than even like a Silicon Valley Bank, right? Silicon Valley Bank did the same thing too. They just said, we're going insolvent, we're going bankrupt, we'll let the government handle it.
Oh, by the way, don't show up at the branch because it's closed.
Exactly.
Yeah. What a month!
What a month indeed. I'm excited to see what's the next one. Like in previous times we said, like, I'm excited for next month. But this is the most excited I've ever been because July's already been crazy.
Bro, I love this bear market, man. It's cool. Like, shit happened. Like, we're building. We have we're focusing on the channel and stuff. I love it. It's cool. It's amazing. And portfolio is in good hands, hopefully. So that's, don't Silicon Valley Bank me, God. Thank you. But other than that, it's cool. And other projects are like, it's nice. And bro, like in 2024, 2025, the next bull market will be, it should be good. We should be able to eat next bull market.
Yeah, when you have a long-term outlook on things, it kind of makes everything a little less anxiety filled. It's like,
it's just
if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. We all had fun along the way, didn't we?
No, but man, like long term, like I'm pretty sure Bitcoin, like long term, I'm talking about like 20, 25 years, right? I'm pretty sure Bitcoin will be here in 20 years from now. Bitcoin, at least. No, Bitcoin will still like top crypto, at least. Yeah, okay, still alive.
Well, did you see what happened today with the BlackRock CEO?
Oh, with the ETF stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he went on CNBC on television, on national television, and said that cryptos are going to exceed any one currency, because it's so international, and he said that the evaluation of cryptocurrency is going to massively exceed any one currency because of how international it is and because how digital it is. So it's like, because it's borderless and a whole bunch of things. Basically went from like 4 years ago saying how crypto is all used for money laundering to now saying it is the future of finance.
But you can be sure he bought some like last quarter. Like Max Payne, like they started the position or something. I don't know, but like that's what they do. That's why content creation is so much powerful, because you can go on TV, which is content creation from the boomers, and say what the fuck you want, and then like your stock is like going to a top right, or your asset that you say, oh yeah, it's a good one, went in the right direction too, right?
Speaking of that, this is completely aside everything, but very unique to decoders. The Twitter monetization, that's something that you guys, I bet, are now playing things around.
Yeah. It's like when we will have, so Twitter monetization is something, but like when Elon will, so first Elon need to fucking fix Twitter, because sometimes when I fucking press tweet and then I get the screen, sorry, something bad happened, please do it again. And then I'm losing my fucking thread. Fuck off first. So there's that. And then, when Twitter will have videos, and not like the fucking Twitter lives shit that is not like a Twitter space with video and stuff, right? But like a proper, like even YouTube channel on Twitter, that would be insane. That would be insane. And honestly, it can even be worse. Like just go like full Twitter streaming, not even with or like a YouTube. You just post the replays of the Twitter stream. You stream on Twitter, you post the replay on the YouTube channel, and that's it.
Yeah, or vice versa. I could see vice versa happening a whole bunch. Like YouTube being more like long form, and then you post your highlights or short clips on Twitter.
No, but like if you have a proper like video stream, like a Twitter Space, and everything on like a Twitter Space has like we type a button, and then like the iPhone or like the camera that the whole setup is going directly to Twitter, that would be a banger. Yeah, like that would be so freaking cool.
Yeah, that's a whole unique thing that's developing on its own too, man.
Yeah. And I just need to take like the fucking like embedding the video from the Watch to Earn platform to Twitter to the same player shit, and that's it. And I can do that for Twitch, I can do that for Kick, I can do that for whatever. It's cool.
Yeah, man. What a month already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. And so I guess we can like wrap it up because we're already over the hours. And so it's mid-July, so we're gonna do the what happened in July DeFi in 3 weeks.
Yep.
But, 1, 2, 3, yes. And 1st of August or something. Yeah, it would be cool. And man, I think do you have anything to add?
I do not. Next week we are going to have the DeFi Decoded back, and with a pretty cool platform that we've been in talks with for a little bit. Can't wait for that. Excited for that. The month of August, the schedule will be a little bit different, and I'll talk to you more specifically about that.
Okay.
But August is a hectic month for me, to say the least. We'll get it done. And, and we have a a trailer coming out for what we've been kind of working on for the past few months for DeFi Civic education, and with our 2 gamification platforms, the 2 games that are both going to be pretty cool and have opportunity for everyone to earn, and
that's cool.
A free experience to earn and learn and have fun doing it with people, against people. It's gonna be fun.
Let's go. That's what's up. Cool, man. And so, do you have a release date for that?
That will be in the trailer, or that will be in the next. It's the details will be in the trailer, and then it'll tell you when we're saying the date.
And the trailer, do you have a drop date next week?
It was supposed to be on Monday until the Roblox decided to change all that stuff up, and now it is.
Fair enough.
Now it's supposed to be next Monday, so we pushed it by a week to have all that.
Okay, so it's already ready. That's cool.
Let's go, Khalid.
That's cool.
Like the energy, Khalid.
Top 1 project with DeFi education on Solana. We know that. Let's go. Cool, man. Thank you so much. And so we wrap it up, right?
Yeah. Appreciate everybody. Cool. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you so much, Ash. You were amazing again, like as usual, like perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Thank you again, Eddie, for your $1 donation. Love you, bro. You are super, super, super fun. Thank you, Kelly, for your participation in the chat. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Mr. Rob. Thank you, everyone. And we will see you next week for more streams, Divine Dogs, and the Divine Dogs weekly show, and all of the usual. Anyway, thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and see you next week. Bye, everyone.
You fellas.